There is an iron at the bottom of your suitcase. It has been there since you packed 3 days ago. You have not taken it out once. The ship provides pressing services and self-service laundry rooms with irons at every station. But the iron in your bag weighs 4 pounds, takes up the space of 3 rolled shirts, and may have pushed you into a checked bag fee you would not have paid otherwise. There are 9 more items just like it. Things passengers carry for a week and never touch. I watched them haul those things aboard for 26 years. My name is Carol Brennan. I worked aboard cruise ships for 26 years. I started on the front desk of a Caribbean ship in my 20s and finished as a guest services manager on world-class vessels. I processed the complaints. I reversed the charges. I saw what passengers brought that caused problems at security or sat in the cabin untouched for a week. This video covers 10 items experienced cruisers no longer pack because they learned the hard way. The first item is that iron, or its cousin, the travel steamer. Cruise ships ban all heating appliances. Irons, steamers, kettles, hot plates. The reason is fire risk. Security confiscates them at embarkation. They hold them until disembarkation. The passenger never gets to use it. The iron sits in a storage locker for a week, and the wrinkled shirt hangs in the closet anyway. I process dozens of confiscation complaints per cruise. Every single one could have been avoided if the passenger had asked guest services on day 1. The ship provides wrinkle removal alternatives, self-service laundry rooms with irons, professional pressing services, garment steamers available through guest services. The cruise line does not advertise these loudly because they would rather you pay for the pressing service, but the facilities are there. Pack wrinkle-release spray instead. It weighs almost nothing and fits in a quart bag. Or use the ship's services. A pressing service costs $3 to $8 per item. If that iron pushed you into a checked bag fee, you paid $25 to $35 to carry it. The spray costs $4. The laundry room is free. The second item is a drone. Drones face a dual restriction on cruises. Most cruise lines prohibit drones entirely. Even if the ship allowed it, most Caribbean islands and Mexico have strict laws requiring permits or banning recreational drones outright. The expensive equipment sits in the cabin all week and never leaves the bag. I saw passengers try to argue that their drone was small or that they had researched the laws. Security does not debate, they confiscate. The drone goes into the same storage locker as the iron, and the passenger spends the rest of the cruise wondering if it will still work when they get it back. A drone with a case weighs 2 to 4 pounds. That is space and weight that could have held something you would actually use. What works instead is a good phone camera or a compact point and shoot. Both work everywhere without restriction. The phone you already carry captures the same views the drone would have filmed, and it fits in your pocket. A compact camera costs less than most drones, weighs half a pound, and no security officer will take it from you. The aerial shot from the top deck at sunrise is just as good as the drone footage. The third item is beach towels from home. Passengers pack 2 per person, sometimes more, and those towels take up half a suitcase. A single beach towel weighs about a pound when dry, closer to 2 when damp. 4 towels for 2 people is 8 pounds that could have been left behind. Cruise ships provide towels at every pool and beach. Passengers can exchange them at towel stations throughout the day. You take a towel, you use it, you return it to the station and get a fresh one. There is no limit to how many times you can exchange. The ship has thousands of towels in rotation. Experienced cruisers exchange towels at the pool station rather than returning them to the cabin. The station scans your cabin card, hands you a towel, and you walk away. When you are done, you drop it in the return bin and get another. I watched first-time cruisers haul 2 beach towels per person, then never touch them because the ship's system was faster and cleaner. The towels from home sat folded in the cabin all week. The space those home towels took up could have held souvenirs or an extra pair of shoes. The fourth item is not what they bring. It is what they do not bring, and the sprawl that results. Passengers pack a dozen small products, sunscreen, lotion, hairspray, jewelry, chargers, hair ties, swimsuit clips, and discover that cruise cabins have almost no counter space. The bathroom counter holds 2 items before it is full. Everything else ends up on the bed, the floor, or shoved into a drawer where it disappears. What experienced cruisers bring is an over-the-door shoe organizer. It is a fabric rectangle with clear pockets that hangs on any door. It provides instant visible storage for everything. Sunscreen in one pocket, jewelry in another, swimsuits that need to dry, chargers, hair accessories, sunglasses. A shoe organizer costs about $4. It weighs less than half a pound and folds flat in a suitcase. It replaces the need for a dozen small zippered bags. The organizer hangs on the bathroom door, and suddenly the cabin has 20 pockets of storage that were not there before. I can tell you from 26 years at the guest services desk which passengers used organizers because they never called asking if housekeeping had seen their missing phone charger. It was hanging in the organizer in plain sight. The 5th item is what they do not bring to hold dirty clothes, and the result is dirty clothes on the floor. Passengers arrive with suitcases full of clean, folded clothes. By day 3, the cabin has a heap of damp swimsuits, sand-covered shorts, and shirts that smell like sunscreen and salt air. The clean clothes are still folded in the suitcase. The dirty clothes are on the floor, draped over the chair, or stuffed into a plastic shopping bag that rips before the week is out. What works is a pop-up laundry hamper. These are lightweight fabric cylinders that fold flat when empty and spring open when you need them. They fit in the empty mesh compartment of a suitcase. When you arrive, you pull the hamper out, set it in a corner, and every dirty item goes straight in. The cabin stays clear. The clean clothes stay clean. When it is time to pack, the dirty clothes are already contained. I cannot count the number of times I walked into a cabin for a service call and had to step over a heap of damp swimsuits and sand-covered shorts. A $4 hamper would have solved it. The 6th item is what they do not bring to see what is already there. Most passengers stand on the top deck at some point during the cruise, look out at the water, and see nothing but horizon. What they miss is the wildlife that passes within 100 yards of the ship. Early morning at sunrise from the top decks is the best time to spot whales and dolphins. The sea is calmer before the wind picks up. Dolphins ride the bow waves near the sides and back of the ship. They surface in groups, arc through the water, and disappear before most passengers realize they were there. Whales breach farther out, but on a clear morning with decent visibility, you can see the spray from a blowhole half a mile away. What experienced cruisers pack is a pair of compact binoculars or a phone with a good zoom lens. The binoculars weigh less than a pound and fit in a day pack. Either one turns a blank stretch of ocean into something worth watching, though binoculars will not show you detail on a whale that is a mile out in rough seas. I used to do the 6 a.m. coffee run on the upper deck when I worked guest services. The only people awake were the ones who could not sleep, or the ones who knew what they were looking for. The passengers who had binoculars were the ones calling everyone over to see the dolphins. They would spot a pod riding the wake, point it out, and within 2 minutes, there would be a small crowd leaning over the rail. The passengers without binoculars missed it. A decent pair of compact binoculars runs about $30. That is less than most passengers spend on a single shore excursion, and the binoculars work on every sea day, every port arrival, and every early morning when the ship is moving through open water. The 7th item is what those people miss when they assume the cabin has nothing to offer. Passengers assume the cabin has no storage, so they live out of their suitcase all week. They unzip it every morning, dig through folded clothes to find what they need, and rezip it when they are done. The suitcase stays on the floor or propped open on the luggage rack, taking up half the walking space. The hidden truth is that cruise cabins contain storage in unexpected places. Behind mirrors, in hollow stools, under beds where suitcases slide flat, and throughout cupboards that look like they hold nothing but ship supplies. Most cabins have a medicine cabinet behind the bathroom mirror. The mirror swings open on hinges, and inside is a shelf deep enough for toiletries, medications, and anything small that needs to stay dry. Almost no one looks. Experienced cruisers unpack completely on day one. They use every hidden spot. Shoes go under the bed. Toiletries go behind the mirror. Folded clothes go in the drawers. The suitcase gets emptied, collapsed flat, and slid under the bed or into the closet. The cabin instantly feels larger because the floor is clear. I always told passengers to check behind the mirror first. That one piece of advice solved half the complaints about cramped bathrooms. The other half I solved by showing them the space under the bed, which in most cabins is high enough to fit 2 full-size suitcases side by side. The 8th item is full-size shampoo bottles. The ship provides shampoo, conditioner, and body wash in every cabin. They refill the dispensers daily. The bottles passengers bring from home weigh a pound each when full, and a family of 4 packing full-size bottles is carrying 4 pounds of liquid they will never use. That weight counts toward the airline limit. And when the cruise is over, those bottles go back in the bag, still half full, and make the return trip heavier than the departure. The 9th item is multiple pairs of dress shoes. Most passengers pack 3 pairs, one for formal night, one for dinner. One backup in case the first 2 do not work. All 3 pairs sit in the cabin closet all week. One pair does the job. The other 2 take up floor space in a cabin where floor space is already tight. A single pair of dress shoes that work for both formal night and the main dining room is all anyone needs. The 10th item is printed confirmations and tickets, boarding passes, shore excursion receipts, dinner reservations, insurance documents. Everything is digital now. The cruise line emails a boarding pass. Shore excursions appear in the app. Dinner reservations are tied to the cabin number. The paper passengers print and carry sits in a drawer all week, untouched. The unifying principle across all 10 items is this: experienced cruisers pack for the cabin they will actually have, not the hotel room they wish they had. They stopped bringing things just in case and started bringing only what they know they will use. The result is lighter luggage, more space for what matters, and less time spent digging through a suitcase. I want to know what you used to pack that you finally left home, or what you still bring that you know you should not. Leave it in the comments. The natural follow-up to this video is what experienced cruisers do pack. The things that make a cruise cabin livable and a cruise day better. It is the natural next step after today. The 10 items are gone because they do not work on a ship. The iron becomes wrinkle-release spray. The drone becomes a phone camera. The beach towels become the ship's towel system. The sprawl becomes an organizer. The pile becomes a hamper. The blank horizon becomes binoculars. The assumption of no storage becomes the knowledge of where to look. The full-size bottles become the ship's dispensers. The 3 pairs of shoes become 1. The printed paper becomes the app. The people who built this country with their hands knew how to travel light because they knew what they needed and what they did not. That is a skill worth remembering.